Bill, since you're there on Instagram, can you just give me let me know whether you're getting sound? That'd be great. You're live, but sideways. Why am I sideways?
Because it's probably vertical only.
Oh, okay, it's vertical only. Okay, we're going to have to just move it round then. Okay, just turn it that way. Okay, so go back to here. Got it? Yes, I've got it. Yes. And then we have to make a tool. Oh my goodness me, I'm sideways. Okay, right. So I can make that smaller because I don't need to see that. I can make the zoom smaller. Okay, so if you are on Facebook. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's people talking already. Okay. Hello, Christina. Okay, Bill. Can we go up a little bit higher and angle down? And angle down slightly. Bit more, bit more. Okay, that's about it. Yes, okay. Now, Bill and Tiger Benton, am I straight now? This is me and technology. Right side on Instagram. Okay, Instagram is right. It's the right way around, and it is sound. And I believe... Oh, and Christina said, hello, Karen, you're also on Facebook as well. Okay. So, Bill, Christina said, you can see me live on Facebook. Yes, that's good. But can you hear me? That's the next question, I'm hoping. And is it a... Have I frozen on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, for some reason I've frozen on Facebook, and that's a really unflattering look. Why is that doing that? Okay, and the next question is, am I on YouTube?
Yes.
And can they hear me on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yay! So other than Facebook's looking like it's frozen, oh my god, there is a terrible view. Oh, this is terrible. Okay, so how do I share the... Okay, so if you're on Facebook right now...
It's unfrozen now.
It's unfrozen now. Okay, on Facebook, I'm going to put a link right here in the chat, just did then, to the YouTube link, which I hope is the right one, just in case it freezes permanently on Facebook. You can still see it on there. So I did a little live before. Oh my goodness me. Hang on. I did a little live before explaining the setup here, and if you know me, you know I'm not keen on technology. And to make it even better, I had a funeral this morning, so just bear with me. Okay, so right, everything's working. Let's start. Okay, so welcome to late 11sies or early afternoon tea. And my apologies, as I said, there was a funeral of a friend from SCA today, so I'm wearing green for Loredana because she loved green like I like purple. So just bear with me, and hopefully the technology will go and my laptop will last. First of all, I would like to acknowledge, in the spirit of reconciliation, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community, and to the Kaurna people, which is the land I live in. And I pay my respects to elders past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, and think carefully when you're thinking about the referendum. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so, early afternoon tea. Right, I'll start with a giveaway. That's probably the best way to go. Where's my tablet? I have got a phone, a computer, a second screen, so a phone for Instagram, the computer laptop with an extra camera on because the camera on the laptop sucks, and I've got an extra screen so I can see the YouTube, and I've also got this one too, but I haven't got the right cut. That's okay, that's fine. So yes, I thought I'd start I start with a giveaway, and as it's the official release day today of the third book, which is Illusionia and Other Tales, I thought I'd give away that one first. So my dear heart Dave is sitting over there. That's okay. My dear heart Dave is sitting over there to help me deal with all the people talking. Yeah, Bill's watching from his laptop, so that's probably why. Right, so okay, cool. Right, so the question is, well, I'm drinking Organic Assam by Wiverstone Tea, which is a local tea place here. So that's what I'm drinking today. So if you would like to answer the question, what are you drinking today? Or in some people, it's probably tonight. Some of you, I know Bill has probably just been listening to Madame Askew, which I wanted to do, but with all the technology problems, didn't. So yes, so what are you drinking today? And out of all the people that say something, I will do random. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So no one's saying what they're drinking today. So yes, frozen. Am I unfrozen, Christina? It looks like I'm unfrozen. Facebook is fixed. Okay, so everyone, so Christina is doing Teapunk Teas Companion's Delight. Teapunk Teas is, they have some pretty cool teas. They're in America. We can, I think, technically get them here in Australia, but they cost a lot to post, but they have some really cool sounding teas. So Christina's doing Teapunk Teas. Excuse me, and I'll give you a few more minutes to do that. Oh, Cindy's doing... Hello, Cindy. Cindy, where are you from? Prince Vladimir Earl Grey. Oh, is Prince Vladimir a different type of Earl Grey, or is it just a standard Earl Grey and they've renamed it? I don't know. I don't know that one. Earl Grey, unfortunately, is probably the only tea I won't drink. Unless it has jasmine, because I'm allergic to jasmine and stuff. Or chili. I can't have chili. So, yeah. So, Christina and Cindy, you're writing these down? Yep. So question 1, and I'll give a few more minutes before I get to the second question. I'll probably do a random thing for that question. Okay, so okay, so it looks like Facebook. Most people are doing stuff. So Cindy and Christina, YouTube. Oh, people doing. Oh, I can't see YouTube. Okay. Oh, people on YouTube. Let me get back to YouTube. Okay, Alicia. Hi, Alicia. Okay, sound on YouTube is a second or two behind. Yeah, sorry. We started with a rum cocktail, now switched to a peach seltzer. Well, if I drank, that sounds good. I'm going to have to make sure I pop between Facebook and the other one. Cindy's in Canada. I love Canada. Apparently my dad was born in Toronto. I loved Toronto when I was up there visiting a while ago now. Got some friends up in Canada. Special blend from Special Teas in Victoria. Cinnamon note. Ooh, actually, one of the local places here, well, it's probably over there too, T2, it does like a hot cross bun or something. And they do stuff at Christmas. They do a Christmas pudding at Christmas as well. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, so Dear Heart over there is writing these down. And I'll keep going. Right, so today we're celebrating all 3 of the Viola Stewart books, which was my first steampunk series, and it's a Victorian steampunk mystery series. And basically, I've re-released all the books. So I've got some show and tells. Whoops. So I re-released all the paperbacks with new covers, which you've probably seen if you've been watching me on social media. And so I've re-released the eBooks, which were all sort of in several parts. So I've put them all to match the books with matching covers, so brand new covers. And that's what we've been doing. And today is the release of the 3rd book. So it's the last one out of the whole series. So you can get the whole series now. All 3 of the books have a combination of short stories and novella. And that was a common... shorter stories and serialized novelizations were a common thing in Victorian times, and at the time when I was publishing, shorter stories and serials were a thing in steampunk as well. Each volume, as I said, has the new cover, and each one has a common trope. So the first one has Jack the Ripper, and the second one has ancient Egypt, because they had a fascination in England, especially there's a fascination with ancient Egypt, which really hit the head when King Tut's tomb was found, but it really started in Victorian times. And the last one has like a holiday and a few different things, but the main story is about illusionists. So the Victorians had a fascination for new forms of entertainment, and illusionists and mesmerists and stuff were very popular at the time. So that's what that one there. So one thing I'm often asked is, how do I get the ideas for the books? Okay, watching on YouTube. Hang on, before I get there, yeah, I'm just double checking. Okay, right, okay. So, right. Yes, so I've spoken before about getting back into writing after a really bad physical and mental thing that happened with my old job, which is why I'm not working there anymore. And originally I'd planned to write fantasy, and I'd been toying with this story for decades. Actually, it's in my head, it's still in my head, it's slowly coming out. Eventually I'll write it. It's probably going to be 3 sets of 2 books with different characters. That's as far, yeah, it's one of my long-term things. But instead I ended up writing steampunk. I think I was channeling my passion for history and adding a little bit of whimsy, because I really needed whimsy at the time, and then adding my own mystery twist, because, you know, I like mysteries. One question I often get asked is why did Viola end up with an eye patch? Well, I made 3 of them actually. So this was the eye patch that she wore in the first book. So my friend Zena was the cover model. There you go, you can see this one here. So this is the one she had in the first book, and I forgot to get the mask, the gold mask. That's the first book there, so I made that one. And then the second book is this one here, which she wears as well. And in the third one, because she's going on holidays up to the beach, it's a bit more of a sort of, well, spring type one with a bit of, oh, hang on, that's the right, that way. So I've got those. And also in the third book, I made this one. So I found this mask because she has no eye there, and that one there. And in the books, that became a bit of a fashion thing. So it's sort of, the reason she got an eye patch was sort of by accident. I didn't actually plan it to go that way. I think it was a direct result of the trauma I was emerging from at the time. I wrote a story in 2013. It was for a murder mystery competition, which actually got shortlisted. It was the first time I got shortlisted. It was very exciting. And it was called the Eye for Detail, which is in this book. And that was the first time I wrote the story with her in. And she almost didn't survive the nemesis. Oh, yep. Okay, good. Only one dong. Okay, she almost didn't survive the nemesis, but lost an eye as a result. And I think because I was an optometrist at the time, and the trauma was related to that, I think I was trying to excise it via that, and it just sort of happened, and I went with it, and it became a thing. So that's that one there. Okay, so in Dr. Jack, so there's the ebook. You can get the ebook, all formats. Now, where's my next question? I've got this questions written down. Not quite yet, almost there. So, I need some more tea. So, there you go. I've got a big table with tea everywhere. Okay, so I've got notes because I lose track. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I've got so many things running through my head at the moment. Right, so in Dr. Jack, Queen Victoria has a cameo. Now, Queen Victoria is a common cameo in steampunk books. And in my steampunk world, she sort of has her own agenda. And it stems from the first story in the first book, which is Day of the Dirigible, and An Eye for Detail's the second story in this book, and where a mechanical malfunctions, sort of, okay, an airship explodes. It's been out long enough. And that creates all the things about how mechanicals are legislated and stuff in the story. And it's also Viola's first encounter with the men in grey. So I thought, question 2. Okay, right. Question 2. Are you ready, Dave? Okay. This is where we have to start looking at all these. Okay. Question 2 is, which historical figure would you like to see in a story and why? So hopefully I'll get a few for that one, and I'll be giving away a copy of Dr. Jack, ebook Dr. Jack. So that's for that one there. That's the one with Jack the Ripper, which was probably one of my darkest stories, because you know what was going on. Oh, nice not. Okay, so comments in Facebook, watching on YouTube. Okay, thank you, Cindy, for letting me know that one. This is the first time I've really tried all 3 at once. It's a bit daunting. Okay, so hello people on Instagram, did you hear the question? Right, so I'll probably keep going while that question's going. And do we have what's the first one? I was going to announce the first winner, which was an ebook of. Okay, so Christina, you get a copy of The Illusionaire from the first question. So can you write that down somewhere? And then we need to go to Eye of the Beholder on the thingy there. I would not be able to do this without Dear Heart. Thank you, Dave. Love you. Okay. So, yes, I'll repeat that. Oh. Okay, Florence Nightingale just saw a special on nursing. Yes. I also saw a recent documentary, okay, by recent, it probably was last year sometime, about other stories about Florence Nightingale. Quite interesting character, actually. I think I've read, she's been in some books, I just can't tell you right off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've read something with her on it. And so that was on Facebook, that was Cindy who said that one. On YouTube, Alicia says La Jacaranda because women fencers are very badass. They are so cool. I did fencing for rapier fencing with the Society of Creative Anachronism for 10, 15 years. I loved it. My wrists are bung, my knees are bung, so it was great. I loved fencing. So yes, she could be total secret agent and oh yes, I will have to make a note of that, Dave, for me to do a little bit of research on La Jacaranda. Was that the one that was in the photo that was taken where they had their tops off and they were fencing? The name rings a bell. I can't tell you because I'm bad with names, but okay. And hello, Senalist Art on Instagram. We just asked a question to win a copy of Dr. Jack in ebook. That's the first book in the series, and the question was, which historical figure would you like to see in a story and why? So if you want to answer that one, you'll be in the running for that, and we'll announce that one before the next question in a few minutes. Okay. So, Eye of the Beholder is the second book. So that's this one here. I don't know if you can see that properly. Hopefully it's the right way around. So that's where Viola's adventures continue. And in almost every book features a contemporary... Almost every book... story in each of the books features a contemporary science fiction, fantasy or mystery book that was actually around, like Sherlock Holmes, for example. A Study in Scarlet was one of the first ones in the first book. So the first mystery novel, so I thought I'd do a little bit of historical stuff here because I do like my historical stuff, which was why I like doing steampunk, and then I get to fiddle around with it. So The first mystery novel series, or stories in England at least, were inspired by real life murders at the time, like Burke and Hare did the body snatching, and Dr. Crippen's, very interesting, and of course Jack the Ripper. Now Jack the Ripper was in 1888, but before that, back in 1811, there was the Rutcliffe Highway murders, and they caused this massive spike in newspaper sales. And then in 1849, there was a whole slew of supposed biographers of murderers, and that was just a publishing sensation. So they got the taste for, still have for true crime and stuff like that. So there was a rise of murder stories and inspired plays and novels and puppet shows, and of course Madame Tussauds was very popular. And this eventually led to the rise of the detective novel. So I'm talking Europe, UK here. In the early 19th century, you didn't have a proper police force. If you're in the middle class or upper class, you would actually pay for troopers, or whatever you call them, to actually do your policing or security. And it wasn't till later you get the Bow Street Runners, and then the final development of the police department as we know it now. And they had the Metropolitan Police Department in London at the time of Jack the Ripper. And of course back then they just didn't talk to each other. They were still separate, and that's how there's theories on how Jack the Ripper got away with it a bit longer, because there wasn't cross information between the two different areas, because he did some of the murders in another police department's jurisdiction. Okay, and then of course you get female detectives, which I'm really big on, the female main character, and the first professional detective in fiction is considered to be the female detective, which I actually have a copy of. I love getting copies of these books. This is not the original copy. I can't afford that. This is a facsimile copy, and it's called The Original Lady Detective, and it was published in 1864. The main character doesn't actually have a name. She's this mysterious, shadowy figure. The police called her G because there's one instance, I believe, where she calls herself Mrs. Gadden. And so that one was in 1864, and that's by... I'll look at the book. No, it's not. Andrew Forrester, I think. I have it in my notes, and I can't find it, but I'm sure it's Andrew Forrester. Anyway, on the spine. Andrew Forrester. I remember the name. That's big for me. Okay. And about the same time, there was a rival publisher who brought out this one here, which is The Revelations of Lady Detective. And that both have the female detective as the main character, and it was over 20 years until the next sort of novelisation with a female character, professional detective, came out, and that was called Mr. Balzaget's Agent, and I don't actually have a copy of that one. So, right, so I like mystery stuff. And female detectives. So I read a lot of mystery stories, and I've been inspired by Sherlock Holmes, Agatha Christie, No Marsh, and so many more from the mystery side of it. So another giveaway, and this is Eye the Beholder this time, because we're talking about that one. So Eye the Beholder, the second one, you get an ebook of that one. I'll tell you the question in a minute, because I just have to check. So with the last question, which was historical figures, I believe we have, so let's write in my dice. Alicia said, what did Alicia say? Lake Jacaranda. Oh, that's right, yes. So Alicia, you get a copy of Dr. Jack, wasn't it? Yes. You get a copy of ebook of Dr. Jack, and after I finish here, I will message you. If you don't get a message from me in the next hour or two, message me back, because it means I haven't been able to find you somehow. I will message you on how to get your books eBooks, and that'll be via BookFunnel, so you can choose whichever format you like. Okay, so the next question, because I was talking about mysteries, which is your favourite mystery writer and why? Now, I find it very hard to pick a favourite. It depends on my mood at the time. But if you can tell me, gotta go. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. Enjoy your evening. It's probably getting late over there. Okay. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. And yes, I don't think it's COVID. I think it's a cold or an allergy, but yeah. Okay, so question 3 was, which is your favourite mystery writer and why? So you've got a few minutes to do that. And that's for Eye of the Beholder, which is about ancient Egypt and mummies and stuff like that. If you want the thing, it's I've forgotten my blurb. Isn't that terrible? Anyway, is Viola slightly going mad, or is she actually cursed with an ancient Egyptian curse? That'll do. That's the main story. Okay, so Bill's going. Okay, thanks, Bill. See you later. So yes, so that's question 3 for a copy of Eye of the Beholder. Right. Okay. Now, next question. Right. Need more tea. I always need more tea. Can I have some more tea, please? Okay. Right. So, where was I up to? Question. Okay. So, I just mentioned before that in the different books, there are different contemporary stories or novels that are mentioned. And in the series, Viola was given many of them by Arthur Conan Doyle, who has a sort of cameo. He's another person who ends up being cameoed a lot in steampunk books. And he also encourages her detectiving, which can be a bane for some other people, but yeah. So in Dr. Jack, I talked about A Study in Scarlet, which was by Arthur Conan Doyle, and it was first published in 1888 in the Pall Mall Gazette. In Eye of the Beholder was The Mummy, and it has an exclamation mark, and I believe it came in about 3 different volumes back then, and that was by Jane C. Loudon, or L-O-U-D, and Loudon, and she actually was she wrote stuff about gardening. So she wrote this story about the mummy, and I think it's Cheops comes back gets re-risen or something, and they chase him with airships. It's quite interesting. And that was in 1827. There's quite a few females did good stuff, back then. In The Depths Below, and that's in the 4th book, which I can now show you as ebook. Yep. Okay. Whoops. So that's in this one here, the first story in this one here, which is the 3rd book. So in The Depths Below, is mentioned The Mystery of Clume Hall, which is actually an Arthur Conan Doyle story, and it's sort of vaguely, possibly time travel. This mysterious guy turns up and things happen, and you can get a copy of that online as well. I've got an ebook copy of that. And Tomorrow When I Die, again in The Illusioneer, was A Christmas Carol, which is can be construed as a time travel one. And that was in my time travel-ish story in there, and that was in 1843. And also The Chronic Argonauts. Now, The Chronic Argonauts was actually the early draft of The Time Machine that was done by H.G. Wells, but is actually published in the School Science Journal in 1888. So that was, good 5 to 7 years before he actually published The Time Machine. So that's pretty cool. And steampunk itself is influenced by a lot of the classic Victorian science fiction and fantasy stuff. So you've got Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which is in 1818. Journey to the Centre of the Earth, Jules Verne, 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Time Machine. There's a whole lot of them. So before I ask the next question, okay, we'll go in here. So Christina says her favourite mystery author is Deanna Rayburn. I love the science in her Victoria Speedballs. Now, I've heard of the Victoria Speedwell series. Hooray for butterflies. Yes, I had a butterfly just a minute ago on my teacup. Yeah, I haven't read them yet, but I've heard of them, so I really should do something about that one. And let's see who's going to win the one about the question. It's probably going to be Christina. Christina, have you already got a copy of something? Illusioneer. Well, you're going to get another copy of it. Okay, I can give you a copy of something else instead if you want. I can give you a copy of Eye the Beholder. There you go. Do that one, Dave, because you probably don't want two the same. Okay, right. So, I know there's a few more of you still there because it says that there's some people watching. And I might just go onto YouTube to just check there's nothing there. Alicia's talking about that's why sabres are better than dirty rapiers. Okay, yeah, Alicia, we could talk rapier and fencing for ages. We could, but not today, unfortunately. So Alicia, yeah, okay. So still people around watching. Yay. So the next question I've got for a copy of the Illusioneer. No, it's not. The next question is actually for a copy of the Illusioneer again, because that is the one that's being put out today. Is, do you have a... Oh, no, I did that one, didn't I? The classic novel writer. No, I didn't. No. So, do you have a favourite classic novel and why? So, there's just so many, and again, it depends on my mood. The Invisible Man's interesting. League... they're all up there. There's just heaps. Frankenstein's always a good one. So yes, Christine, sounds great, yay. So question 4 is, do you have a favourite classic novel and why? So I'll give you a few minutes to talk about that one. Cup of tea. Oh, that's better. Like I said. Okay. Sorry. Alicia's got to go. Where's that one? YouTube. Okay, Alicia, thank you. You can PM me on Facebook on... Cool, yep, cool. Okay, I'll see you later, Alicia. Okay, yes, it's. I thought this would take half an hour. I'm almost finished, so Okay, so now I've talked about steampunk, I've talked about mystery, Victorian mystery, science fiction, and books. All my favourite, well, some of my favourite things. I've got a lot more favourite things than that. And I've got one more question, which everyone's just left for. So whoever's left, you've got a good chance here. I've got one more question. And if you've been here from the beginning, and if you've been very, very observant, you may actually realise that I've used more than one teacup today. So the question is, how many teacups have I used and what were they? And I'm just going to another cup of tea, quick. Hide that one. So yes, so it's the first one to get it right, or if there's only one person answers the closest. So yes, so how many teacups have I used today during this live? Not beforehand, I used a different cup before I came onto the live, but that doesn't matter. So just during this live, how many teacups have I used, and just a quick colour or description of what they were, just so I know you're watching. And you get to have an ebook copy of the set. So all 3 books, you'll get a copy of those. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that. And while I'm waiting for people to do that one, Jane Austen. Jane Austen's good. Mansfield Park is actually the only one I haven't read or seen in a movie. I've got it on DVD, because I'm old, I have DVDs. But yes, I haven't actually seen that one yet. So there you go. Okay, right. So while I'm waiting for some answers. Close, Christina, but not quite. Saw butterfly and flower. Yep. Yes. And if you can describe the other one or 2, or yep. So you're You should watch it. Okay, yes, I will probably watch it this afternoon. I might have to have a wind down because it's been a very big day. Although tonight I'm doing Dungeons and Dragons, so yes, it's going to be a lot of relaxation. Okay, so a big thank you to all my readers and everyone who's joined me today, and Bill and Alicia and oh god, I'm terrible with names. Chris, who left? Alicia, Bill, Christine. We had Christine and Christina.
No, Christine and
Cindy, and Geo, lots of numbers on Instagram, and Sandy List Art on Instagram. I don't know whether you got the last question. You can probably have a guess. It wasn't 4, but it was close to 4, and 2 of them have been... Oh, you've been repairing your hoop skirt while you've been watching. That's a fair cop. That's if I could be sewing while I was doing this, I probably would be too, because I've got to do a skirt for an upcoming thing. Okay, so thank you to everyone who's joined me today and everyone who's left, and thank you to my Patreon supporters, especially Kelly, William, Mark, Susie and Joanne. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who follows me on social media, and you can find me on TikTok, Facebook and Instagram as Karen J. Carlisle. And you can find me on YouTube as at Karen-J-Carlisle. I know, it gets confusing. And you can sign up for my newsletter on my website, which is, guess what, KarenJCarlisle.com. And you can get a free ebook of short stories of science fiction and fantasy if you do that. And information and news and stuff. And if you follow me on... support me on Patreon, you get some freebies when you start up as well. And don't forget, I've got an event. Well, it's in Australia, so if you're watching and you're not in Australia, yeah, but it's on the 22nd to 23rd of April at Dimboola, which is halfway between here and Adelaide and Melbourne, and it's the Women's Steampunk Festival, and I'm doing a talk on the Sunday at 2 p.m. at the Dimboola Imaginarium, and that's Victorian time, 2 p.m. And if you're there and you attend my talk, you get a free gift, which is my current secret project. So I won't say much more about that one there. Okay, so has anyone else entered the question? Alicia says, what did she say? Sorry? Book 1. Sorry, what?
For the favourite book.
Favourite book 1. Okay. So, okay. Oh, yes. I have to. So, the favourite classic book or novel was Alicia. Yep. And what did Alicia say? YouTube. Was it Jumas? Oh, yes. Jumas, yes. Okay, so Alicia, you get a copy of The Illusioneer. Yes, is that right? Yep. Okay, and let's see, I'm trying to look who... So, yes, so the last question, and if you can get in really quickly, was how many teacups did I use, and vaguely what were they? And it looks like that's going to be Christina. You're the closest. It actually was, hang on. Dave, can you pass them over to me? So the answer was 3. Now, so this is the first one, which was a black one, which still has some tea left. And I actually bought that to celebrate Dr. Jack when it came out in eBook. And the second one, because I love the colour, and there was a garden. There was a gardening. Flowers theme in the second book. So this is my second one, which I bought to celebrate Eye of the Beholder, and that's got the butterfly, which you mentioned, and the third one, which still has some tea, was this beautiful one here, and that was to celebrate The Illusioneer. And I actually got a white one of this too, which was given to me by Kelly Kinamont. So yeah, it's a really pretty cup. It's got a sort of very happy feel to it, and that's got a little bird in it too, and that was to celebrate the Illusioneer. So there was actually 3, but Christina, you were the closest. You said 4, but I did mention I had a different key cup before I started, so that could have confused you. And you did mention you saw the butterfly and the flowers. So Christina, you get a copy of all 3 of the ebooks. So let's go through and just mention all the bits. So there was a copy of Dr. Jack went to Alicia. She got a copy of Dr. Jack and Illusioneer. There you go. Christina got a copy of The Beholder and Illusioneer. And Christina, you got the set as well. Okay, right. So you get some bonuses. You can give the other 2 to someone else if you want. You can give them the code, but don't give it to anyone else. Okay, so yes, so you get a lot. I should have been keeping track of. Okay, right. I just got an ad from Facebook. Something about getting stars, and I have not. How do I get rid of that? I don't know how to get rid of it. It's just come up with. Go away. Okay, right. Okay. I made it through to the end, and some of you are still here. So, Bill, thank you for being here. Senlist, Art, Geo, the lots of numbers afterwards. Hi, thank you for joining. I think I can wave at these people on Instagram. Wave and wave. I have no idea what that does. I've only done one live on Instagram before, so thank you for turning up. And of course, Christina and Alicia and Deanna. Oh, no. Bill and Cindy and lots of other people. Yay! And I better just check YouTube as well. Alicia, mostly Alicia. I believe, I don't know whether Instagram keeps the live and you can watch it later. I have no idea. Facebook does, I believe, so you can watch it later if you want some of the information and stuff. And YouTube does keep it later. So you can buy the series. It's all official now. It's all out. The complete set. This is the first series I did. Whoops. And it's a Victorian steampunk mystery, a little bit darker. The first one, they all have short stories and a main novella, which novella is most of the book. And the first one is Dr. Jack, which is about Jack the Ripper. What if Jack the Ripper was being organised by a secret society in the nefarious plot to take over the empire? I remember that blurb because I've said it so much. And the second one is The Beholder. Again, some short stories. Viola's birthday and Maid Molly or Polly. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's Polly. Point of view. And, of course, the main one, which is... Yes, I have a grandmother clock on the wall. It reminds me of the time. It is 10 minutes fast, so don't panic if you've just panicked, okay? So, yes, the story is basically they're at a mummy unwrapping, which is not very thing, and I don't agree with them, but it was a thing in the Victorian times, and stuff happens, and is Viola cursed, or is she going slightly mad and going to end up in Bedlam, which I wouldn't want to be in. And the third one is the Illusioneer. So after all that, she goes on holiday, and there's this one has 2 longer short stories and the novella. So the people said they wanted longer stories, so we did that. And she goes on holiday, and there's mechanicals, and there's dinosaur bones, and there's other Department of Curiosities actually gets a C in this one too, that you meet another character from that isn't in the other books. And the main one is she does find out what happens to her sister. And there's the Illusioneer goes around Europe following this illusionist. And, is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? Who's your friend? Who can you trust people? That whole type of thing. So that's the third one there. You can buy it as paperback, or you can buy it as ebook. You can go onto my website, www.karenjcarlisle.com, at the shop. And if you're in Australia, you can buy the books directly from me with Australian postage. And you can buy the ebooks directly from me in Australian dollars, which is the direct equivalent, not so if it's 99 cents US everywhere else, it's 99 cents Australian on my website. If you're overseas, if you go there, it actually gives you links for all the different places. Books to Read gives you all the different places that you can actually go and buy my book as well. So, right, I think that's everything. I've got a few books I've got to go read now. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming by and listening to me ramble on and helping me celebrate the official launch of all three of my release of all three of my books. And thank you very much, and see you later. And this is where you see me get really embarrassed with technology because I've got to work out how to turn it all off. So goodbye to everyone. Oh, how do I turn that off there? Goodbye to everyone on Instagram. I think that's the easiest one because you're on my phone. I think I just hit the X. If you're sure you want to end the video, yes. Bye. And share. Sorry, I'm leaning over. Okay, can you... No, just leave it. Hopefully it won't time out. Okay, and goodbye to everyone. Now, I think I had to do the YouTube next, didn't I? When I tried to stop this before, the Facebook Live went all funny. So goodbye to everyone on YouTube, and let's see if I can get that done properly. Thank you again for coming and sharing the time with me. So goodbye to YouTube. And I think that one is now